Hello, hello. Welcome back into the stream and another week and another video. I hope everything is sort of working. I've been having a lot of technical problems. This stream seems to be on both YouTube and Twitch, so it looks good so far. Yeah, I think it'll be another chill stream. Actually, just me working. Keep on trucking really with the film. We had a really good review session yesterday. A lot of things got approved, and so yeah. So it's I think mostly we sort of still pending a few shots that hopefully we can start working on sooner rather than later. And also I received a shot I think on Friday that I'm actually transferring from my server right now, and it's gonna take a while before I can get to work on that shot. But in the meanwhile, I'm trying to sort of figure out what to do here. Let's jump into software here and then see if I can jump into this one. Yeah, perfect. All right. Sorry, my dog. I think she wants to go out of the office. Just a moment. All right. Sorry about that. Right. So this is sort of like my review script here, where we sort of like talk about the shots and stuff. And yeah, so the only notes for this two shots here. So we got one here with the llama, like they really like the how it's turning into a night time. There's a little bit of like a foreground element to it. And we sort of added a little bit of like the Milky Way in the background. And so, but I think we want to turn the color scheme. We wanted to get that closer to this blue-green color scheme. So it's not that purple pink-ish. And then we have sort of the same type thing for this one, also in the green yellow color scheme for this. So I think I'll just do that to start with while the other shot is transferring, and hopefully we can start looking at the other shot as well. If it is your first time sort of watching the stream or the videos, I am a filmmaker and a visual effects artist. I've been working with special effects for quite some time, even before I started sort of like professionally. I did a lot of like unprofessional kind of like jobs, right? Like a lot of like, films on your own, stuff like this. And yeah, I actually always wanted to work on games as well, but I never worked with games sort of like at a professional level, if you will. I worked on a few indie games done at school, and with a few friends that never got sort of finished completely, but yeah, like building assets or stuff like that for games, but really in the small scale. But I have been in the film industry professionally for about 10 years. And yeah, we do all sort of things. I have a company now, and yeah, we do commercial work, special effects type of stuff. We do productions. a lot of documentation work, stuff like that. So if you're new to the stream or the video, that's basically a little bit of like what I do, and I just wanted to share sort of the progress of working with indie films, because I think there's I hope that there will be a better sort of like demand for indie films in the future. And you know, I once took like a producer course, and it was super interesting to be part of, because okay, let me swap over to the cam here. Maybe you can't hear the music here though. Well, anyways, but so this producer course was actually super interesting, because we got to talk about a lot of the problems that the film industry faces, right? And especially when it comes down to like to the indie scene, or like smaller animation type films, stuff like this, right? So like, and I think I sort of have I have some ideas of what could be done, but I think you know, like I can't, I guess, execute on my own on those ideas. But I think really gathering people that are very interested in film and from all aspects, I think like once we sort of come together as a community, I think we can start building a better you know, a better place to show work and make indie films more relevant, if that makes sense, right? Right now, we see like big films, and they're so streamlined and repetitive nowadays, right? Like the big Hollywood movies are putting all the money in something that is quite safe. They know they got a good return on investment, and yeah, they're not taking chances so much with indie films anymore. And so, and that's why I think it's a good time for indie film makers, really, and indie projects, even with AI in the horizon. You know, I think AI is a completely another topic by itself, but yeah, I mean, the film industry is a massive thing, and you know, I could talk about it without end. And so yeah, I don't want to get into the deep rabbit hole straight away here on the stream. But welcome into the stream. Hopefully, if you have questions or are curious about the film industry, of any aspect of it, especially in the visual effects department, I sort of done a bunch of things in the film industry, the VFX industry. So yeah, please feel free to ask questions, and if you have any doubts and stuff. This stream is not so like user friendly or beginner friendly, if you will. It's not like a tutorial. I'm not sort of like showing you how to comp or anything like that. It's more like giving you, I guess, a little bit of a glimpse into my sort of day-to-day type situation, I guess, where I'm able to show it, right? So a lot of the times I'm not able to show any projects whatsoever, so because of NDAs and stuff like this, right? So I have a very unique case with this film where we want to show a lot of the behind the scenes and stuff like this, and I think that's super cool to do. I think more studios should do it as well. So I think it's a unique opportunity to work on this film, Basilio y el Mar. So thank you, Roger, and thank you, Edith, for being a part of it as well. But yeah, apart from that, it's just gonna be me mumbling most of the time, trying to figure out how to do the shots, and kind of like talk my way through it, I guess. And I'll be happy to ask any questions or stuff like that if you're popping into the stream. It's also, streaming is very new to me as well. I'm not good at it at all. So please, let me know where I can improve. If the sound is bad, the music is too high, if the bandwidth is bad, whatever it is, please just let me know. I'll try to improve a small thing every time I stream. Right now I'm sort of struggling to see the YouTube stream, so one of the things that I definitely have to improve. Man, I wish I had like YouTube and Twitch sort of like on the same page, so it's easier to see if things are running smoothly. Let me see. Yeah, okay, YouTube seems to be fine. All right, cool. So for now, I'm also sort of like the schedule. I'm streaming on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We were hoping to sort of be finished, by the beginning of April. But there's still like a bunch of shots to do, so I think the deadline will be extended a little bit. And also, I have some other projects cooking up. Unfortunately, not stuff that I can share, but once these projects are sort of like done, it also frees up a lot of time for me actually to have a more regular work week, and I'd be able to stream in the evenings or something like that. And I thought it would be fun to stream gaming stuff or other projects as well. I started actually a little game idea last year, and that I worked on my summer vacation, and then I've basically been super busy since then and haven't had any vacation actually. I had 2 days vacation, I think, since then. So it's also nice for me to sort of free up a little bit more time this time of year. Right. With telling you my whole life story and what this stream is about, let's see if I can open up some of the shots here. So let's fix this one, shot 4. Let's see if I can get it up. All right, let me swap over here on OBS. Let me see. There we go. Should be able to see the screen now. Right. So we got this shot with a llama at night, lonely, and we started changing the Milky Way color scheme up here, and I have this background in there, and it's basically just gonna try to give it some other color. And actually I did this thing with a color wheel where I can move I made it huge, and I can move this color wheel around on the frame to have it inherent, whatever color that I want. So now putting it over as geometric, it sort of blends in the colors, and Now it has a different color. I think also what would be interesting no, I think we keep it. I won't change too much of it because it was very good, and I won't shoot myself in the foot if I start adding more stuff. Right. I'm thinking maybe. Just like playing a little bit more with the intensity of it a little bit. Like in the midtones. Yeah, I think that already looks like quite nice. I think maybe the colors got a little. Yeah, I think sort of like the. Yeah, I think maybe the whites are too strong. So I'll try to see if I can gain it down by a tiny amount. Maybe like 0.9 or something. It's subtle stuff at this point. So let's see, we did that, this, so it was like that before, it's purpley, and now it's like greeny blue. I hope you're able to see it. Welcome into the stream. I see that people are popping into YouTube and Twitch. Feel free to ask any questions about film. Got this very unique opportunity to be able to work on this and sort of show you kind of like the behind the scenes of a VFX work, I guess. So it's quite unique in that sense. I don't think I have ever seen a real hands-on like work with VFX, you know, like a lot of the time it's this sort of like fast-paced type content where they maybe talk about how they did something but never actually like working on the actual shot like live. So this is it basically, right? So if you're interested like in knowing anything about film industry stuff, yeah, please let me know. I've been around doing a lot of different things for the film industry, or in the film industry. And yeah, this is just a chill work week, really. You know, I was talking about to the director yesterday actually, and I was saying like how much it, you know, of a dream it is as a VFX artist to work on this, just because the director doesn't really sort of like, it's also his first time sort of working with VFX and this at this scale, and they've been sort of like very cautious about using VFX, right? So they wanted to do very minimal type thing, and don't complicate the shoots too much. I think it suits the film very much, having very like static cameras and stuff like this. But yeah, like if I were to tell you some of the nightmare shots that I worked on, I think you'd be surprised how much you can do in visual effects, basically. Like fixing stuff just in general. So, I mean, sometimes it's just crazy, some of the things that we have to deal with. So I think for this shot, I'm actually quite happy with the color change. In the sky, I think it looks pretty cool. With there's like some yellowy tint, blue, orangey, green, like mix up there, which is quite nice. So I'll just open up the other shot as well and do the same. Let me see which shot that is. That's shot 5. Right. Oh, yeah, sorry. Let me change it over to OBS here. As I said earlier in the stream, it's I'm new to streaming, so please bear with me. I'm trying to sort of learn about streaming as well. It's kind of fun. I was quite nervous about streaming at the first, but it's actually been quite a fun process. Like it's just very chill, and I guess it's fun to for myself to just ramble mostly to myself. But yeah, it's fun. So for this shot, yeah, you are watching it. We did some sky replacement as well. As you can see, we added in the moon, some misty cloud stuff, and yeah, there's a few things that I want to improve on this. Like I want to see if I can do a better transition on the horizon line a little bit. And we have to see if we can get a little bit of more interesting color scheme and the Milky Way that is just not like pure purple, basically. So let's see. Again, with the color wheel stuff, I'm just been using a lot of the sort of like same setup. Works really well. I think maybe it's a little big. We can probably make it smaller to get like a more range of color in there. Let's see how that looks. So yeah, it's not super strong like color wise. I'm gonna see if I can sort of exaggerate this a little bit more by contrasting the color wheel, and then I can sort of better see the colors. But I think it definitely went way too extreme now. So let's go down to like I don't know, 1.3 maybe. Right. Yeah, I think it maybe also got a little too bright, I think. I'm also overexposing here, but I think with the contrast, I think I also got it a little bit too bright. So I'm gonna do another, like a correction here at the end. Basically where I just take it down, maybe 0.9 like the other one. And yeah, so let's see. All right, so I talked about this horizon line stuff here. I'm kind of like replacing sort of like the whole background, and I just want to, oops, that's not the one. Yeah, I kind of want to do a very subtle ramp on the horizon, basically. So I'll do a ramp and stencil it over right here. My computer is being extremely slow. I wonder... Sorry for the technical issues. I think maybe I have too many Nuke scripts open, and I'm also transferring about like 125 gigabytes of just for one shot. So, you know, working with red cameras are like, it's no joke. Okay. Is it image back? Yeah. Okay, it's working. Yeah. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. I think it was like, I think it got done transferring maybe. Oh no, it's okay. Let's try. Yeah. It's almost done with the transfer of the other shot. Right. So if we then stencil and I want to stencil something, yeah, something like that maybe. You know, just so we get like this dark gradient on the horizon line, so it helps sort of eliminate those like stars in the horizon, and helps blend the shot a little bit more. The integration. Yeah, it's pretty cool, I think. Let me see. There was we have some reference. Let me see if I can. There's some reference in terms of color, which is really cool. So I'm gonna pull all these images in. They're quite big, actually. Oh, the camera ran out. Just a moment. I'm just gonna change the battery. Okay, I think we are back with the camera working. Yes, sir. Right. Um, whoops. Man, my computer is really struggling today. Okay, I think I got done with the transfer now, so that's at least one less task. And oh yeah, sorry, I'm it's like what I said, I'm not a professional streamer. As a matter of fact, I haven't streamed. It's kind of like the first time streaming, so it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird to be able to show the work first of all. It's also kind of weird to I guess for like my brain to sort of like stay in the work, but also, you know, keep in mind that, you know, people are watching. So we have these reference photos, which is super cool, actually. There are from a real photographer that the director knows. And these are real photographies, you know, like 360 of the sky. Let's see them one by one so you can see a little bit of the color. But yeah, it's like it's really interesting what it does to the atmosphere, right? Obviously, they're very what do you call it? I guess like perfectly exposed, right? And also, so they're very bright, almost like it doesn't feel like nighttime at all, right? And also, you know, they have been no, color corrected. Sorry, the words escape my little brain sometimes. But it's super cool to see sort of like the clouds and I don't know, the gases, I guess I should call them, and sort of the colors they reflect back to Earth, right? Yeah, so I think like this one is really cool. So I think this is what the director was talking about, having a little bit more of that like teal, green, yellow color. So we'll see if I can mimic a little bit of this one, like color scheme wise. So I'll pull this up to up here. Now we can sort of see if I can get something similar. Yeah, so right now it's quite dark, right? But it's also like I guess a little dim maybe in the colors, but I also don't want to manipulate the colors too much because we have the flexibility to do a color correction in the edit. But we could, you know, try to see if we can get sort of more of that. I kind of want this color range-ish. I think it works really well because I guess blue and that teal and orange is kind of like complementary colors, right? So we have to do I'm trying to think about how to sort of mix the colors. We have blue here sort of as a primary color scheme up here, right? So I think I'll take another color wheel, or maybe not. I'll take a, you know, a radial or something like that. And maybe I can even pick these colors. Something like that maybe. And make sure they're quite bright. Yeah, I think we need something brighter, more saturated. And let's put that on top here. See if we can get. I might need to do like a different operation. Well, it is picking up. But I think I want to treat it a little bit differently, because I probably want this to be somehow stronger. So I'll put it here, and oops, let's put it as a. I don't think plus will look good. I think we want color dodge. Would that be good? It could work, and then if I kind of like mix it down, right? But for now, let's get sort of the position right and the area right. Sorry for my mumbling. Man, looks like some other dimension, some other world or something. So it looks pretty crazy. So let's mix it down. Okay, that was too much. Something like that, maybe. I might, yeah, I think I'm gonna try to see if I can. Oh, actually, I should do it up here in this one. Let's see if I can. Get sort of like a good mix in there. Yeah, it's just a little tricky, I guess, to get sort of like the whole color scheme in there. It looks very cool. Like it has a lot of different colors. I think maybe even I might take a constant as well, and then sample. I kind of like these whites here. It's kind of like a jello white. I think it looks very nice, and I think I might just do like a roto shape that I'm kind of like putting over as well. And I don't know if a color dodge will look good, but let's try it out. I'm basically just experimenting a little bit with the color stuff here, just to see if I can get some like interesting colors. No. Yeah, I'm trying to blur. And then let's mix it down as well. No, it's not really giving me that. If I think if I color dodge, I might need to do some other operation. I'm trying to think which one could be good, but like overlay, no. No. Hard light maybe? I don't think so. Soft light could work, I think. No. RGB. No, I'm not really liking. Not really liking what it's doing. Yeah, I'm gonna delete this one, I think. Kind of want to get rid of the reds a little bit, maybe. I think the red's a little too intense, but this is also quite intense, right? But I guess it feels. Yeah, like a little rainbowy, I guess, is the feeling that it gives me a little bit. So I'll try to see if I can. You know what? Maybe a hue correct here would be good. And then see if we can get that color and desaturate it a little bit. Maybe saturate some of the other colors. Trying to see if I can take down the reds a little bit and then have stronger like yellows. I kind of do like the orange, but I think we get like the reds to dominate too much maybe. So let's see, without and with the hue correct. Now it's super subtle stuff that we're doing here. I don't know if you can actually tell. Yeah, you can kind of like tell how it looks. So we have a pretty good, like, I don't know, different colors and yeah, a little bit of a better mix in the sky. And yeah, whatever they do at the end, right, on the whole shot, they have the sort of ability to push all the colors. So I think I might need to desaturate it just a tiny bit, but I'll do that as here at the very end. No, wait. Where am I mixing? What do I have here? Oh yeah, that's the moon stuff. Yeah. So, oh yeah, I'm adding that and all that stuff. I might just create like a color note here at the end and just desaturate it just by like 20%. I think that, yeah, because I think the colors got a little bit too strong. So when I'm looking sort of like without colors, the colors feel a little strong to me. So yeah, it's tough to know exactly. I'm trying to see if I can saturate it even more. No, I think they have a good range on it. I think now it's very saturated, right? The colors, but I think when you see sort of how the colors are picking up on his clothing and the blues and stuff and the walls, it's quite strong as well. The thing is that we have a range of colors up here, where like purple, yellow, red, green, blue, which is what the director wanted. So this is before, and let's take a look at the new one. So I think maybe the ramp, I feel like I should maybe angle it a little bit more. I also think that I'll try to take the gain down on this whole space stuff just a tiny bit. Also by 20%, just not a tiny bit, it's quite a lot. But and then see if I can angle this a little bit. Right. Do they have I guess the moon should be visible in this shot. Like these are like 360 at night, right? I'm just wondering if we can get like a little bit of a reference on the moon. I wonder. I guess the moon would be quite big, right? On a photo like this. That's the moon. That's almost like a solar eclipse. I guess I can't find the moon on the other images. Yeah, the moon is kind of like very clear here, and also it's backlit by the sun, I guess, here, right? So we get like that color and atmosphere change, which is interesting. I feel like I kind of like miss a little bit of that, I guess, here. I'm wondering. Oops. Just wondering if there's a way I can improve it, but I can't really come up with an idea, I guess. I was thinking, yeah, no, I've got no idea how to. I feel like that one's quite nice, but it's just the light, everything is just so different. And here it's like a pure night shot, basically, right? But yeah. this image is not a 360 shot. It's quite a wide angle though. But I'm curious to see. Yeah, no, I don't think I got the moon at all. Anywhere. Yeah, no idea how to. Yeah, it's a very unique situation, and I think I'm not sure how to improve it. But yeah, it was we're only doing sort of a color change, so I think we stick into that. And so let's take a look again, before and after. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. All right, let's see, what else do we have? Right. It was the shot that I was transferring. Let me have a look here on the list. Which one it is? It is shot 2. Right. So I did. Yeah, I did this. So this is. Oh, sorry. You can't see it. I'm sorry. Shot 2. Here we go. Yeah. So this is what I did to the shot. Basically, just prepared the track, and I put like a temp roto in there. Like a temp still from another shot. So finally, we got the actual shot we putting in here. So. Let me see if I can get it in here. That's from the server. Just a moment. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so let's read. Yeah. Image sequence. Okay, it's a huge, long shot. So let's see how. What would sort of be the best angle? It's 2,000 something frames, so it's a lot. Yeah, so the question is, do we want him like a profile or like straight into the camera? I think Let's try with both and then just see what the difference is. So let's frame hold it here and do another frame hold like around the beginning. Like, I don't know, 10. So we got a side and then the front. Right, and then I'll delete all this. And let's get him in here. Whoa. This is kind of like the llama from the from hell. Looks kind of crazy. That's really funny. Okay, so yeah, I have the shape here. I think I can probably soften this shape up a little bit. Woi, woi, oi, oi. 1 pixel. It's 3 or something. And then let's see if we can. Yeah, something like that, I guess. Okay, let's see. Okay, it has to be, first of all, tiny. Well, it has to be extremely small. Oh yeah, I did some warping and stuff last time. It's been a while since I did this stuff. Right, so that would be the front angle, and I'm just wondering if the side angle would be sort of better. Yeah, I think we need the front angle, right? It feels like they're looking at each other. I feel like if it's a side angle, the llama is like, even if we, you know, flipped him over just for like screen direction purposes, or maybe it's actually kind of funny. Okay, so this is very interesting, like talking about like cinematography or also storytelling, stuff like this. This is some stuff that I think is super fun to think about. So we got the whole shot here. The llama is facing, am I reversed on the stream? I guess not. Yeah, it might be confusing for you, for me to say a bunch of stuff, but basically this is my left and the llama is facing left, right? Like screen left. And it's interesting, sort of directional wise, like in the story, I won't spoil it, but in the story, I think it makes sense that they're going in different directions, right? So the llama maybe wants to turn back, but you know, the main character wants to continue. So it's interesting that they're facing different directions, right? So it creates like a visual sort of like conflict, where so this is where I think is an interesting sort of thing to play with. And so if you get him to look straight into the llama, it feels like they're both watching each other, and it could maybe help like create some tension and stuff like this. So it's very interesting. So I think like here they're like watching each other, and here there's like an conflict of interest, I guess I would say. or at least maybe going in different directions, right? So I think details like this for storytelling is what like really it's really really fun to play with in the edit and special effects and stuff like that, right? I think I will go with the cross here, so like the cross of interest. I'm just trying to think. So this the original the llama shot is like a 200 frame thing. It's a 200 frame, so I might need to rotate, or I could be lucky to be able to key maybe the majority. I'll try to do that. I mean, there's a lot of green in his what do you call it, like his clothing, so I don't think I'll be able to get a good selection. No, so I think I will have to do some roto. Yeah, I have to do some roto. Okay, so I'll watch actually just the first 200 frames of this. Just to give myself an overview of what I'm working with. Yeah, so while that is loading, we can talk about yeah, I don't know what to mumble about this time around. But maybe we could talk, or I could talk more about like this stuff that I was mentioning in the beginning of the stream, that I think we're getting into a very interesting era, I think, for films, where artificial intelligence and like when we will see the sort of like the first AI like fully film, right? And like how much is AI sort of like gonna do all the visual effects stuff. And I think it's interesting because I played a lot with AI. And Buenos dias. Is this the new shot? Yes. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. This is the sort of like the reflection that goes into the to the llama's eye, right? I don't know if you remember. Good to see you, by the way. But yeah, I was talking about AI stuff, and so I played a lot of with AI, and I think what AI does really well at the moment is doing sort of like abstract stuff, right? And it's funny because I think for filmmaking, when I think abstract, the first person that comes to mind is David Lynch, right? So bright, yes. Yeah. And I think his films are incredible. I love David Lynch's work, and I think that's kind of like the interesting that that AI is better at expressing sort of like abstraction than we are, in a way, right? Where David Lynch is really good at doing that. So I just think it's I think we will probably see some films fully made in AI that would be very abstract and very interesting to see. But I think it will become a very saturated market because everyone can do them. And I think again, it depends like how do you use AI to really tell compelling stories. And I think at the end of the day, it comes down to that, because it was kind of like film in the old days were very exclusive to the people who could afford the cameras and had some connections to make films. And then, you know, as soon as cameras became very affordable, everybody started like making videos and shows and everything online, and you know, just making movies as well. But there's a huge pool of people as well that tries to make stuff, but sort of never really gets realized as well, right? So yeah. Who makes meaningful content? Yeah, exactly. I think that is what it's all about at the end of the day. You know, like if do you have actually something to tell? You know, do you have something? Yeah, do you have something to express, right? It doesn't necessarily have new. It doesn't have to be new. Like we've seen love stories all the time, right? But but how do you tell sort of like a love story that stays with you, you know? So like I think that's also sort of a big problem with films nowadays. It's like you see something and then, you know, 10 minutes after you you don't even want to talk about the movie anymore. And you know, the last time I watched something that I almost got like obsessed with was David Lynch season 3 of Twin Peaks. Like, oh my god, that was such, I mean, I couldn't stop thinking about it. And it was so fun because at the time I was working in Vancouver, and there's a few David Lynch fans as well, and we were watching sort of the show as it was coming out. And so every time we went to go to work, we would like talk about it and try to figure out like, oh no, you know, this thing is this thing is like this thing, and you know, we're trying to pull all the pieces together, and we were sort of like becoming obsessed about it. And it was just so fun to talk about, and I think it has so much to offer, like season 3 Twin Peaks, than many other shows or movies, right? So yeah, I think it's fun stuff to, you know, to talk about and stuff like that. So and yeah, so I think it's the same for all content, right? It's important to do something that has some kind of meaning or value, or makes you feel something that you maybe didn't feel before. I think, you know, stories are very good at doing that, right? Like putting yourself into some other person's shoes. You know, that's what stories are really good for as well. So like how it is to be rich, how it is to be poor, how it is to be enslaved or not, or whatever, you know, be free, and all these type of things. And you can place yourself in shoes that you've never been in before, and ideally it transports you into another point of view also. So yeah, there's a lot of ways that filmmaking is can be super powerful. But I just think that, you know, we don't see any of those things anymore now. We just see dopamine hits being forced into our brains, right? Right, back into the shot. So it looks pretty good. Let's kill that color. Yeah, I think I'll use this directional stuff. now the shape is a little harsh and all that stuff, but right now I'm just I kind of wanna do, or I can do a sorry, I'm mumbling like a lot. I kind of want to do like a rough garbage mask for the 200 frames that I need the actor for. So I'll start with that. Oh, and also we need new music. So I'm not worrying too much about the silhouette because I think it's kind of cool that we see the background that he's in as well, and the reflection of the eye. So it's not like a complete cutout. So what I do is to do this garbage mask basically, and then I'll feather it outwards. I'll show you in a bit what I have in mind for this. Right. So let's go now to the beginning. We move this a bit. Let's go to the end. Adjust the mask. Gotta be careful. I think I might have fucked up already here. I think I might have sort of changed the roto shape too aggressively. So it might look like very wonky. I kind of like wanted it to be quite static. So I'm gonna delete this keyframe. I basically don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to change the silhouette too hard or too much, but I kind of need to pull things for all of this to make kind of like sense. Yeah, I think that's fine. And then I feather it like outwards. So if I put it in here and say like mask, I get something like that. And then what I want to do is kind of like feather it out even more. And maybe do an edge blur. See if I can get like a softer edge. Yeah, something like that. Maybe I went too far out. Maybe bring in the mask a little bit more again. Right. So now we are placing him in the eye. And let's see what we're doing here. We're moving it, and then we are keying the reflections. Putting the reflections back on top. We're doing a little bit of a grid warp for like getting sort of like the shape of the eye, right? Yeah, and I kind of want to soften up these pixels around the edge a little bit, which is these ones. Let me see. So I don't know why the I get like I have a soft mask, right? But I think because I'm putting it over here, the RGB is taking over here, which makes sense, right? And I get like a harsh cutout. So I kind of want to mask it by that. So I get like that softness of that mask. And now that should look a little better. So without the mask, with the mask, now it feels more correct. It's very, very tiny, and the reflection is also quite strong. It's gonna be really hard to see, I think. So this is, yeah, it's gonna be hard. So the dark shot, but I think, I mean, looks quite well integrated in. I think it looks good with the sort of the reflection of the eye back on top and all that stuff. I think maybe he's a little sharp compared to sort of like, if we see sort of like the focal area of the hair, right? It feels like one strand of hair here is a little soft on the edges, and then we have like a very, very sharp edge around our main character. So I think like soften him will be good. So we try a soften note. Or let's try a defocus instead. Yeah, I think that's a little better. And just a tiny bit, because we don't want to lose too much detail, otherwise it's also going to be hard to read. All right, and I think, I don't know if I should make him even smaller. Let's see if we make him that small. We see a little bit more of the hat. I'm just gonna try to play around also like gaining him up just a tiny bit more, just because it's so hard to see, I think. So maybe like gain him up like by, yeah, something like that. But it's almost like feels almost like a crystal. Like I think like it's like a little too clear, right? I feel like trying to, yeah, I think maybe I like it. I think I like it better darker. It looks more real. Let's play this and see how it looks. Yeah, it's gonna be super hard to tell. It's so tiny on the screen. It's crazy. So yeah, let's see how it looks. I was actually yeah, let's see it out. So right, back to the conversation about AI and what else we were talking about. Oh yeah, so I was talking about this producer stuff also at the beginning of the stream. So talking about there was like it was a super cool course. It was set up by the animation studio in Denmark, and it was really cool to be part of. As there were like all sorts of participants for the course, so there were like smaller studios, animation studios as well, but there was also very new artists, and also some artists that had a lot of experience, and directors and stuff like this, and producers. And so I think what was interesting, and talking to a lot of different producers throughout the course, it was super interesting because I think a lot of people are sort of like almost aware of the problems that are in the industry, right? And especially as the point of view as an artist. And I think like what's difficult is to sort of find sort of like these platforms, distribution platforms for indie films, and that's also including sort of like the animation films and stuff like this, right? So I think the way the industry sort of works today is that if you make something good, it's very likely that will be sold or licensed into the platforms that we know, right? And that's kind of like the sort of the problem, because today now, like I don't know if you read the news, but like not too long ago, about some Oscar winning indie film, and it was indie, but it still had like a $3 million budget for the production and the post-production, and then they also spent a bunch of millions on the Oscars and the promotion. Like it was just, I guess indie is relative, right? And but Hollywood's indie, it's not so indie. Also, there's like indie films with very big names, like actors and stuff like this as well. And so like it's indie in terms of Hollywood, because Hollywood, classifies movies as a different category. But what happens is that sort of like the rest of the world, especially like within Europe as well, which is also an interesting market, because you have French, which are an amazing country that keeps alive cinema, helps out new directors, and funding for all types of projects, creative projects, and so on. And I think like that's what I mean. Like there's like this huge pool of real, what I call like real indie movies and animation films and stuff like this, that doesn't really get exposure and don't have like the right platform to be in. And I guess so. Yeah, what I'm trying to get at is that I sort of realized that there is a lot to do and improve for the film industry, that I would love to be part of. I don't know how. I don't know how to build it, but I love that sort of like if we can get a bunch of people within a community to try to create a better platform and for indies, for indie filmmaking, and just sort of like create a little bit of a new wave, I guess, into the modern world, where because that's kind of like what happened, I think, all the time, right? I think like movie lovers always created some type of new like film movement, like with German expressionism back in the day, and all these type of things, right? And I feel like we in a new era where we're gonna be seeing AI films, and also we're gonna be seeing a lot more indie films that are made in the real world, because I think that will be something that we will crave quite a lot, right? We've been seeing a lot of like unrealistic films, if you will, and I feel like this. I think there's a hunger now for real stories and connection with humans, and yeah, and I think like that's probably the way that I hope the indie film sort of moves in, and I hope we can sort of come together and create cool stuff together. So that's the thing. Great content has an impact on the collective narrative and ideas, and it's important to reach more people. But the blockbuster machine is not pushing this. Yeah, totally agree with you. Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, that's why I feel it's super cool, and it's super cool to even be able to show this. I'm totally super excited about be able to do that. Like, I feel like working within film is like all NDA, and you can't talk about anything and you can't show anything, and it's like, man, I feel like all the work is in the shadows almost in a way, you know. So I feel like it's cool to be able to show and yeah, I don't know, grow from it somehow. Um, yeah. Right. It's back into the shot. It's good. I need to keep these topics for whenever I'm rendering, so I can rant about something. Right. Um, so let me take a look at the shot. Oh man, I think this is so tricky. I kind of feel like it works. Like integration wise, I think it's quite good. Um, I think maybe I feel like he's a little too sharp, but I think if we blur him, I think it would be even harder to see him. So, okay, I'm trying to decide with myself. There's something interesting happening with the sort of the movement, which is quite interesting, and I would call this the happy accidents, right? So this is a cool thing, but it depends. So he in the reflection shot, the actor is sort of like moving a little bit, but like back and forward. He's sort of like bouncing a little bit. And so what I could do is to stabilize the actor. So I have a complete still of the actor, right? But what it's doing to the eye, it feels like the llama is moving the eye a little bit back and forward. Because he's kind of like bouncing back and forward. And I think because of the grid warp that I have in there, that is kind of like giving me this spherical deformation. As he sort of travels back and forth, it feels like it is the eye that is moving and not the actor necessarily. So it's an interesting sort of like accident. And I feel like it's probably like a, you know, stylistic choice here at this point to say, like, you know, do you want the actor to be dead still? Or is it good that it's, you know, moving a little bit? It's hard. It's hard. I personally, I like the movement because it just feels like way more organic. So I think I might just keep it like this. Maybe send this for review, and then we can have a talk about if we, if we want to do stuff to it. I don't know if you see it on the stream. I feel like there's like a blue pixel. Do you see that? I wonder where that's coming from. I think it's in the... It's the llama? I think... I'm not sure, but I think it might be the camera reflection. I think it's the camera reflection. Yeah, it's like blinking. Oh no. No, it's not the reflection. That's a strange little pixel. Okay, it's a noise thing. It's coming from the noise. So some negative values in the noise. Or no, I mean I cannot. No, it's not. I don't know what it is. It's at the very beginning. It might be a... Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. It is in the shot. So it's not something that I'm producing. I thought maybe it was like a negative value or something that was being produced by either the grain or the camera reflection. But what's interesting is that it's not a reflection, because as we zoom out, I mean, it could be a reflection. I don't know. It doesn't feel like a reflection, though. Yeah, this is weird. Weird pixel. Interesting. I'll leave it there. I'll remember to comment on it for the review, just in case I need to remove it. Right. Cool. So, you know, I'll save this out and we take directions on it. And there was one shot we talked about yesterday. About making a clear sky of this stuff here that we have here. So I'm gonna take this setup. Actually, I need to take a setup from a different shot. Let me see if I can find it. It's shot 22. So let me open it up. Right, I'm gonna save this, close this down. Sorry, bear with me while I'm fumbling here with OBS and Nuke. Here we are. Right. So the director would love a shot of them looking into the sky. So I'll see if I can create like a... Well, they'll be looking up directly into the sky, basically. So we need to take a lot of this. And yeah, so I'll think I'll take all this stuff here. And we call this, I'll say backdrop. I should really make its own shot for it, but I'm just gonna do this quite quick. Call it 21.5. No, 22.5. There we go. Right. So let's see. In a way, I guess we have to trick the audience a little bit here, right? So I don't think I necessarily want to defocus. Oh, maybe I do, but just not that hard. So maybe like, let's go 1. Yeah, I think like 1 is pretty good. Right. So technically it would be, as they looking here, the sky is behind them, right? Or this section here, so they would be looking technically at a different type of section of the Milky Way. And so if we go into our 3D setup, we can actually be quite accurate where they're looking at the map, because we know sort of roughly how many degrees we have to turn, right? Right, so I got, oh yeah, it's up here, sorry. I have to remember my own setup here. So we got this scene with this. And so basically, oh yeah, I'm reformatting also here. Okay, sorry. I have to remember what I've done here. Right. So if I change, we basically want to flip this sky box on the right axis, and to do that, I think I'm just gonna see which axis I want to do that on. It's not this one. Is it here? $100, $500. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out like how to rotate this. Yeah, before I play too much around with the values, I'm just trying to see. So the actors are looking. Oh, what did I do? Okay. Oh, I think it's multiple cameras. Right, so we're looking that way. Now I can't, it's hard to tell in the 3D space, I guess. And also I'm flipping it, so that's kind of like not making it easier necessarily. Oh, just a moment, I got a phone call. right. All right. Sorry about that. It's you never know if it's an emergency. Yeah. Cool. Right. So, oh yeah. So, okay. I was trying to figure out the rotation stuff for the sky, but actually, I thought maybe, if you wanted to be super accurate about it, we could do. It's like I can copy this camera here, right? And we pretend that this is the actor's point of view. Like, if we really want to be like super, super, super accurate, right? And looking at the same type of sky, I think we could. I think a lot of times in film, right? Whenever they shoot something like this, where if you have like a night sky or whatever, behind the actors, and then the shot that we're trying to create now is a point of view where they're looking up to the sky. A lot of the times we will see the same background as they had as a background, right? But technically, it wouldn't make sense, right? They should look at maybe something similar, but at a different angle. And I think, so this stuff that I'm trying to do now, it might not work completely because we might look at completely emptiness, right? So it might not work at all, but technically, I'm placing now, I duplicated the camera, and this camera is the camera that is shooting. Camera 5 is the camera that is shooting the actors, and technically the actors would be sitting like around here. And let me see if I can turn this camera around. Let me rotate it like 180 here, and then the actors would then be looking up. So, oh, sorry, wrong value. I will be looking upwards. So like at a 45-degree angle. Now technically, right, if we swap this camera with the other camera on the same sky, we should get like an accurate representation at what they're looking at. Like a quite accurate one, right? But again, it might not be interesting to cut into this, right? So so that creates a little bit of a problem, right? So that's why, like, all the time it's like, we should see something similar to the background, just as, to have something to continue for continuity wise, even though spatially it doesn't make sense. And those are like fun things about a film that you don't necessarily like notice while you're watching, right? But to me, I think it's important to have something different at least. So what we could play around as well is just to see, we could cheat it now a bit, right? So it doesn't need to be accurate, but now let's see if we looked 90 degrees up. Let's see what we then look at. Okay, so now we're introducing some interesting stuff. But then we could like rotate a little bit, maybe the sphere of our galaxy as well. Or the view from the camera, because the following scene is the mountain and the sky above the house. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, it's very true. Oops. But yeah, I also don't have like much sort of like interesting stuff to look at here, right? So I might need to like flip-flop everything around just to see if we could look at something interesting. But I think, yeah, that didn't work, obviously, for obvious reasons. So we're gonna try something else. We're gonna try to just rotate this. I think I was kind of like liking this maybe. I thought that looked quite good. If they're looking like straight up into the sky, it has to be tested a little bit also. Like continuity wise and cut wise and all that stuff, because it might not make any sense. Sometimes you need to see it in the edit also, right? Like, yeah, I think I talked about it in some other streams, like about like directing your eye as a video, as the directing the viewer's eye as you cut back and forward, about like where is the focal point, and stuff like this. So right now, like looking at this shot, we are probably looking here, right? And then we might like look up to the sky and look into the background or whatever. But here's where sort of like the action is happening. So your eyes are here, right? And then if you cut into something like, let's say something like this, our eye would probably bounce into the brightest area or the most interesting area. So you cut your eyes up here if this would be sort of the setup. And sometimes that can be, again, these are things you figure out like intuitive as you cutting, to see if that would actually work, right? It might be good to get like force your eyes to look at a different direction as the point of view is changing and all these type of things. Maybe we want it to go the other way. It's kind of hard to tell, right? So some of these things are very like editing, what do you call it? It's up to the editing here at this point. Obviously, we can sort of like provide, as a visual effects, we provide different skies or whatever, but then they would have to see how the timing of it is, how long, what happens to the eye direction, all that stuff, type of thing, right? I think it's quite beautiful to look at, and also automatically we sort of inheriting the colors from this to that. Let's see. Yeah, it's sort of like in the same color scheme, right? Right. I think I have the camera here. I probably don't want any camera movements. I'm gonna frame hold the camera on the skyline render. Right. And then, yeah, I don't know if do we want to bring maybe a little bit more color here? I don't want to play too much with the color, because they need to stay within the same realm, I guess, so we don't get too many different things. So I think I don't touch the color, I think. And if they want, they can, like, in the edit, right, they could like do that to it, right, where you get like more like all color correction stuff, so they can get like a cool image out of this. And also, if they want, they could also do like something like a hue correct, right? Where they can like, or like a hue shift, right? So if they want to like, we have something called hue rotation. So they could like change the, you know, it's quite extreme right now, but they can like basically change the hue of the sky to whatever they want in the edit. So I think this could, we should probably try this and then see if they like it. Yeah, I think it looks pretty good. Yeah, I'm not worrying about the colors, just whenever you choose now, we'll be using the following shot color-wise. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's why like I don't want to, basically I don't want to touch the colors because yeah, then this shot and there's another one, right? And then we have the total where we see the mountains. They all have to be in the same color space. So right now, yeah, no color changes, just being completely the same. Yeah. Kind of want to see if I have the blinking. I'm not sure it's blinking at all. Oh yeah, it is. I see there's a little bit of live here. Value change. Let's render like about 50 frames just to see, make sure that it feels like we have some blinking stars. Yeah, but I like the color. Yeah, me too. I think it's quite beautiful. It's amazing what, you know, like the like 16K image, what it, you know, how much yeah, detail it has, right? It's quite crazy that you can create like a 4K image of the Milky Way in a lot of detail. Come on. Is Twitch stream running? I guess it is. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, it was frozen for me for some reason. Okay. Yeah, we have a lot of blinking stars. Yeah, it's blinking quite a lot, but at the same time, it's also super subtle. You're basically noticing every time that it jumps back to frame one how much it has changed. It's just like so it changes so gradually that you don't really notice it too much. And if you scrub through the timeline, you see it blinking, right? So yeah, we just export a version out and see what the if there's any changes to this. I might take it into its own shot, so I'm just gonna create a new script here, just so I don't get things too confused. Welcome into the stream. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Right. Right, let me share the right window here. There we go. I'm just gonna copy in the output from the other script. Oh. Okay, something has changed. I think maybe it's because of the formatting. Yeah, something changed. Sorry for the mess. 2160. I'm just gonna get the right formatting here for the project settings. 2160. There we go. Yeah. So yeah, what happened there is that, you know, when I created a new script, the default settings is 2K, and so the the placement of everything changes, like color, space, everything. So now it should look like the other version we had, and then we export it in 4K. For this, I don't think I will do any reverse color treatment, as it's not really in raw space to begin with. So yeah, I'm just gonna kill the reverse, and we're gonna name this 22.5, and also just create a new folder for it. $22.5. Right. I'm just gonna save this. Oops. Oh, no. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm making a whole mess out of here, and you're probably not seeing anything because I think I'm only sharing my main window. Yeah, sorry. I'm just trying to save this new shot into whatever little pipeline I have going on. Nuke projects, here we go. Right. All good, all good. Sorry about that. Right. I think also we have sort of reached the end of the stream. I'm actually not sure. Also, I think like what's sort of left at the moment is shots that we don't have too much that we're missing footage on. I think we kind of like I think there's like 6 to 7 shots that are not started yet, and it's because we're still missing a lot of material. And it might take a while before I even get those. I need to so I might not even have it ready for next stream, and I think there's just like a few notes left that I might be able to finish today or tomorrow. So I'm not really sure what to stream next Thursday, actually. I might not have any sort of real shots to work on. Yeah, I think there's a lot of like rendering and stuff. And I want to stream on Thursday. I just don't know what to stream. Yeah. Yeah, maybe I'll just figure it out. I'll see. Yeah, what a weird place to be in. And in terms of like the shots, because there's still works to be done. It's just a little pending stuff, really. Yeah, maybe it solves itself out by Thursday. We'll see. In any case, I'll try to stream, and maybe just do like a very short stream. If there's not like any like work to do. Yeah, we'll see by the time. I mean, I can always improve small things, but I think it's mostly tech things, and yeah, no, it wouldn't be super interesting stuff. Yeah. So yeah, okay, so on Thursday, that's the plan then. I'll just, show up for the stream, and we keep it super short on Thursday, possibly, depending on situations with shots. Maybe we call in a meeting, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'll try to coordinate something. All right. Sorry for sorry for the rants today and the disorganized stream. Yeah, and also see you Thursday. I'll show up, and we'll see what we do. Thank you so much for tuning in to the stream, and it's so good to see you, Flowing Nature. Let's have a catch up now. And yeah, take a look at your stuff. All right. Thanks everyone for joining in and passing by. I hope you got something out of this work session. If you're looking at the video afterwards. And yeah, catch you on Thursday. Have a good one, everyone. Thank you. Bye. Ciao.